Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good morning everyone. Let's begin by imagining a workplace where purpose is not just a trendy word but a deeply practiced value. In Malaysia, especially with our large Muslim workforce, Islamic work ethics are not a theory but a real influence in many workplaces. While ADB is often discussed in financial context, we decide to explore its application in manufacturing where ethical issue can have a serious consequence. That's why we choose KJM Aluminium cans in Darren Berhad as our case study to show how these values are shaping real world result. Islam consider work as sacred. As Al-Quran reminds us, disperse to the land and seek the bounty of Allah. And Prophet Muhammad SAW said, the best food a man eats is what he earns with his own hands. To understand how KJM put Islam work ethic into practice, we built our research on two strong pillars. First, we did a deep literature review, looking into the Quran, Hadith, and academic writing to form our theoretical foundation. This helped us identify the core values like honesty, justice, and excellence that FDE promotes. Second, we conduct interview with the head of department at KJM itself, give us a real practice insight into how these values are practiced on the ground, not just in policy but in daily decision and behavior. Now let's go deeper into the theoretical side. From an Islamic perspective, work is not just a worldly activity, it's form of worship. According to Sheikh Yusuf Qadarawi, Allah has entrusted us with the earth and it's our duty to seek His bounty, not to wait for handouts or depend on the other when we are able to work. So Islamic teaching has emphasized that work is religious responsibility. Number 2, self-reliance is essential. Number 3, earning is a living part of fulfilling our duties to our family. And last one, and most importantly, working is sincerely and honesty is part of seeking Allah's pleasure. This spiritual approach to work is what separates Islamic ethic from other systems. It blends with responsibility.
Next, let me explain the Islamic perspective on fairness in the workplace. In Islam, work is not just for income. It is also a form of worship or ibadah. When done with honesty, it becomes part of our religious duty. Islam commits fairness at work and protect all workers' rights, regardless of status or background. Dr. Yusuf Al-Qaradawi says that work, when done morally, brings both spiritual and financial reward. Justice is a core value in Islam. It includes equal pay, fair opportunities, and helping the poor. Workers must be treated with dignity, not like slaves. As stated in Surah Al-Bayyinah, verse 7, those who believe and do good, they are the best of creatures. So, fairness at work is not just ethical, it is a command from Allah. In practice, fairness and justice are important values in the workplace. At KJM Aluminium Can Sdn Berhad, these values are taken seriously. According to Mr. Arif Ashraf, if workers feel they are treated unfairly, they can directly support it to their superiors. This creates a culture of openness and respect. The company also gives equal chances for training and skill development. Before starting any task, officers guide workers on SOPs, safety, and work processes. This shows that the company supports its workers through proper guidance. It builds a fair and respectful working environment for everyone. From our analysis, both the Islamic theory and KJM Aluminium Can practice highlight the importance of fairness at work. In Islam, fairness is not just ethical, it is a divine command and part of worship. KJM shows this through real actions like open communication, fair training, and equal treatment for all workers. Both sources promote key values like dignity, trust, and equality. Islam emphasizes social justice and helping the underprivileged. On the other hand, the practical approach focuses more on workplace systems, leadership responsibility, and company policy. Even though they come from different origins, both share the same goal, which is to create a fair and respectful working environment.
Wabarakatuh. I will briefly present about the employer-employee relationship from both theoretical and practical perspectives, followed by a short critical analysis. So firstly, from the theoretical aspect, the relationship between employer and employee is crucial to ensure harmony, smooth operations, and productivity in the workplace. This professional relationship, established through an employment contract, allows true communication where both parties can voice opinions and concerns. From an Islamic perspective, work is considered a form of worship when it is done with sincere intention and lawful methods. Imam Al-Ghazali emphasized three ethical principles: doing good to others, ihsan, refraining from harm, and upholding good morals. As stated in the Quran, "We have not sent you except as a mercy to the world." Surah Al-Anbiya. So this value of mercy encourages a respectful and non-oppressive working environment. Secondly, the practical part. Based on our interview with Mr. Arif Ashraf, head of department at KJM Aluminium Can SDN BHD, we found that although the factory is owned by a Chinese employer, fairness is practiced regardless of race or religions. Complaints are managed professionally through a Google form system and are followed up with proper investigation by the HR team. There have been no serious complaints, and work is fairly distributed based on employee skills. KJM also provides continuous training and skills development, which helps employees improve their performance. For example, with proper knowledge, workers can operate machines efficiently, enabling the factory to produce 2 million cans per day. So this reflects Islamic work ethics, which promote knowledge, seeking, and self-development as acts of worship. Lastly, for the critical analysis, many studies agree that a strong employer-employee relationship positively impacts organizational success. A healthy relationship can drive the company forward, while a toxic one can hold it back. KJM Aluminium is a clear example of how fairness, open communication, and mutual respect contribute to workplace harmony and performance. In Islam, maintaining such relationships not only ensures success in this world, but also brings the blessings and approval of Allah. That's all. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. My name is Nur Insuria Kajrana binti Muhammad Faizal. Today, I will be sharing about the importance of work in Islam, but theoretical. Let's start with the theoretical aspect. In Islam, work is not just a way to earn money. It is a form of worship as long as it is done sincerely and ethically. In Surah Al-Mulk, verse 15, Allah encourages us to walk on the earth and seek His provision, which means we must work hard and strive. The Prophet Muhammad SAW also said that the best food is what a person earns from his own hands, showing how Islam values honest, independent work. Scholars like Ali and Riz also emphasize that work links our spiritual life with daily responsibilities.
My name is Wardina Shamiza binti Hisham. Now, let's move to the practical part. We conducted an interview with a staff member from KJM Aluminium Can Sendirian Berhad. There, employees are reminded that their job is an amanah, which is a trust from Allah. They are expected to work sincerely and responsibly, not just for money, but as a duty before God. Morning briefing sometimes include Islamic reflections to motivate workers spiritually. The company also highlights values like teamwork, punctuality, and sincerity, reflecting the ethical principles in Islam. Lastly, here's the analysis. What KJM practices is most aligned with what we found in the literature. However, one area of improvement is in helping workers understand more deeply that doing a job well brings spiritual rewards. If this understanding is strengthened, it can boost morale and dedication, as employees will see their work as meaningful both in this world and the hereafter. Thank you.
Next, I will explain about relationship between work and faith.
In theoretical part, it explains every individual who has faith in themselves in carrying out their work must fulfill their responsibility with full awareness of Allah and be responsible for the good of the individual as good practice in the hereafter. It is because when an individual works with faith in himself, then everything that is done will start it with a good intention because the right intention will make the work as an act of worship. So it also practiced at KJM Aluminium Can Factory where different religions and there is not an issue because they are given the right to freedom in carrying out their respective religious responsibilities. An example, for Muslim, KGM provide musalla for its Muslim employee to pray, and the company also create e-complaint system to make a report about bad activities that carried out by their employees. So, from the theoretical and practical part, I can analyze that KJM Factory emphasizes faith in working for each employee, where KJM gives flexibility to employee if they want to carry out their religious demands, even though KJM employee consists of various races and religions, whether local or non-local employee. Furthermore, when they work with faith in himself, so the employee will automatically practice good moral values in carrying out their jobs. So the issues of misconduct such as corruption, breach of trust, and others at KGM factory can be contained well.
Now I will explain dispute and work from the perspective of Islam. As we all know, jihad is not only you are joining a war, but in Islam, work is also considered both jihad and ibadah. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "An honest and trustworthy merchant will be with the prophets, the truthful, and the martyrs." There are some purpose and value of work. First, work improves one's economic, social, and emotional well-being. Second, it helps maintain social status and strengthen faith. Third is work contributes to society and protects the five essential human needs in Islam, which is faith, life, intellect, lineage, and wealth. There are some hadiths that encouraging work, which is the Prophet ﷺ said, Allah loves those who work and strive for their livelihood. And other is seeking lawful earning is an obligation after religious duties like prayer and fasting. There are some differences between Islamic and Western views on work. Western perspective are based on secular laws and focus on individual rights and obligation, while Islamic perspective are based on Sharia, which are Quran, Sunnah, Ijma, and Qiyas. There are equality and humility in work, which mean all people are equal regardless of race, gender, status, or job. The Prophet tended shape, showing humility and dignity in all type of work. Work also as divine duty. According to Beacon 1997, work is a way to build a good society and is a divine obligation. The most important aspect is the intention, which is niyyah. Quranic verse in Surah Al-Bayyinah, worship Allah sincerely, establish prayer, and give zakah. At the end of the word, this study shows that Islamic work ethics help promote responsibility, sincerity, trust, and fairness at work. At KJM Aluminium Can Sendirian Berhad, these values are practiced through fair treatment, equal opportunities, and respect religious rights. The company values transparency and integrity, and it supports employees from different backgrounds by providing prayer spaces and respecting religious duties. Even though the factory is owned by a non-Muslim, it still follows Islamic values, showing that ethical principle can be applied in any workplace. However, there's still room for improvement. Some employees may not realize that their work has spiritual value. To help them understand this, the company could promote awareness through reminders, talks, or reflection. Overall, applying Islamic making the workplace more productive, respectful, and spiritually meaningful for everyone.